Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Wayne. So I got Wayne today. Wayne, do me a favor, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wayne Scott. I'm a broker and owner of Neat Realty.
Today what we're talking about is the housing market. I have a list of questions for Wayne. If you really want to know what's going on with the Florida housing market, where is it best to go? Go right to a broker. Skip the real estate agents, go to the broker because he deals with a lot of different real estate agents, and we get a really clear idea of what's going on in the market. What we're going to go over today is what's going on in the market right now, like I just said, mortgage rates and affordability. What do we think is going to happen with that? Future outlook. What does the next 12 to 24 months look like? Because a lot of people are saying, hey, this is a bad time to buy a house. Some people are saying, hey, we just hit rock bottom. This is the best time to buy a house. So we're going to cover a lot of different subjects. In the meantime, if you like this kind of content, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel. And remember, if you need a real estate agent anywhere in the United States, built a pretty good network, or if you need a home inspector anywhere in Tampa Bay, we got you hooked up on that one too. All right. What would you, Wayne, if you had to describe Florida housing market in one or two words, what would you say it's like?
Well, historically, and I think it's still accurate, is chaotic because it's always been.
I agree with you. It is chaotic because, you watch these different YouTube videos, or I talk to a lot of different real estate agents and all that stuff, and some people are saying, oh, the market is great. Some people are saying the market is horrible. It's just all over the place. And each place is different. Like the Miami market might be different from the Tampa market.
Yep.
Even here, we're in Newport Richie right now, but
Right.
it might be different from Spring Hill, a little further north, and
Lando
stuff like that.
Lakes,
Lando Lakes,
Tampa, 100%.
What are you seeing with home prices right now? Are they holding steady, going up, or starting to drop?
So this is one of the things that I actually look at. It's not so much home prices and where they're at. I'm looking at the appraisals and what they're coming back as. And that's really been important because they've been hitting their mark and even above. So,
Oh, really?
yes. So I see that as one of the things. And that's not always the best tool that we want to use because it's based on opinion. But those appraisers are getting the data and they're kind of hitting it where it should be. We seem to be in an alignment with the real estate pros, because we
Okay.
do our comps and we do everything, and they're doing it based on the same data, but we're seeing that lining up, and I
Are,
like that.
are you seeing homes still getting multiple offers, or is that cooling off, or is that gone?
So it's not as prevalent as before. It was
Okay.
fun always having that escalating clause. If you don't know about that, or the agent that you're dealing with doesn't know about that, they have to become versed, especially, I know we haven't touched on this yet, but if the interest rates drop, we're most likely going to be seeing all of that happen again.
Like I've always said that, in the sevens, people are like hoping for 2.5. That's never going to happen again for a long time. But, like I said, 7.5 people are on the sidelines.
All right.
6.5 people are looking, but maybe not jumping in. Once it hits in the fives, I think that the market is going to, tell me if I'm wrong, I think the market is going to get hot again. But the problem is there's going to be more competition for those houses, and
Correct.
that it can increase values.
Correct. So what I'm hoping for, and we all theorize and we all guess. There's no exact science to this. But here's the thing: if the interest rates go down, we will see the prices of homes increase. Certain people are going to be pushed out, and there's going to be that bidding, and that's going to end up driving it back to those bidding wars and escalating offers. But I want to know if we're going to pace it, and that's really the uncontrollable factor. Will it happen in 3 months? Will it happen over 6 months? Or is it going to be in a couple of weeks where we see a house that was on the market 400,000 is now 600,000? It's going to be unsustainable because of those appraisals. We won't have the information, the data on the sales to back it up and support it.
That's true. So that brings me to my next question. What kind of properties are moving the fastest right now, in your opinion?
So we're still seeing that sweet spot where it's the 3 bedroom, 2 bath. People are actually looking for the 4 bedrooms. I've seen that creep up a lot more now because they want that.
Multifamily
Yeah,
people coming
yep,
in?
yep. You want that. You've got, the kids that are still at home, so you've got to have a room for them now. You've got the parents that are, the millennials are dealing with mom and dad still at home, so they've got a room on the first floor. That's key. That's very important.
Yep.
They want to make sure that they don't get hurt, they're not injured. I mean, Florida has been historically a retirement state, but still, here's one of those scenarios where we're looking at two or possibly three generations in a home now.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yep.
So are buyers backing off because of interest rates, or are they still jumping in? So how big of a factor is interest rates on mortgages right now?
So I think everyone's gone through the adjustment of what is my budget, what's my bracket, what's that sweet spot, and I think the lenders have to really, really have a long conversation with their clients and see what's the situation. If this is affordable and we can make it happen, and that may be as simply as just getting you into the house, because I think overall we're expecting rates to go down. It's the one factor that hasn't dropped. And as agents, we always say, you buy the house now and you worry about the rate in the future, because you can always refinance.
Buy the house.
Well, marry the house.
Marry the house.
Date the rate.
Date the rate. Yeah.
Yeah. Marry the
that.
house.
That's it.
Date
I say that.
Date the rate, and that's it.
All right. Are sellers adjusting their expectations, or are they still trying to get 2022 prices?
Some of them are.
They say, "Oh, my neighbor in 2022 got this much money for the house."
Yeah, and the Back to the Future movie coming out doesn't help any. It's like, we can't go back in time, folks. The numbers are where they are. But I will say this: it depends on their criteria, and it's all criteria and area specific. Now, if I'm in Trinity, I can't find you a $300,000 house with a pool and so forth. But if we go up to Citrus, I definitely could pull that off, and that's about a good 45-minute drive. So it depends. Does that work for the buyer? And the buyer's got to look at it and say, well, yeah, there's still $350,000, $400,000 homes that are in my budget, but where is it? And what condition? Is it, a resale, or is it new sale? And new sale, you're seeing lower rates. So they may get more house for their money.
Sure. Okay. What's inventory like right now? Are we seeing more homes hit the market, or still low supply?
I still see a little bit growth. It's a slow growth. But again, we keep going back to this. As soon as interest rates go down, I think everyone's going to jump in. There's a lot of angst in the market with everything, just not just home buying. Everything is are things affordable and so forth. So as soon as we see that, we'll see more inventory come into the market.
But that's what I'm saying is, like I always said, there's plenty of homes for sale, but affordable homes is what the problem is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything surprising you about this summer and the market activity?
This summer has, we're in a new, and I hate to say it, but it politics everywhere. Our politics here in Florida is going to be different, because as home buyers, we're looking at homestead homes, your primary home. We're looking at the elimination of property taxes, which if that happens and that goes through, we're talking about an increase of 5 to 10% in home value.
Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Oh, you really do?
Yeah, I do.
And you have your pulse on politics. I know that.
Yeah. It's interesting, because we had this conversation in a private group.
But they would
before
increase
it
sales
happened.
tax?
Well, the property tax is you're looking at homes that are paying $3,000 to $6,000 disappearing every year. That's $600 a month going back into someone's pocket. That jumps the property up, quite a bit. So,
but it's really just they're talking about people with homestead homes.
Homestead homes.
And
this is your primary home.
Yeah, the people that were investing houses like me, we're in trouble still.
Well, listen, there will be, I think, overall, even on your side, as an investor, you got more deductions here.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time to buy a new boat and write it all off. There's so much that we're going to see. So the summer is kind of the same thing, like people. They're on the sidelines, just waiting to see, are they going to jump in?
Since you're talking about sidelines, let's talk about mortgage rates and affordability. How are mortgage rates impacting buyers' ability to qualify and move forward? Are you finding a lot of people, they want to buy a house, they're going to look at the house, but then they realize they don't qualify to buy the house?
Yeah. And my advice to anyone out there, listen, before you get your heart broken and you fall in love with that home, see what you qualify for. See what the numbers are before you go see it. Because you know, once they fall in love, their standards are here now. And then the other home is down here. They'll criticize it, they won't love it. And for a person that's building their home, they worry about the school zone, they worry about the neighborhood. All of those things matter to them. Not so much an investor, you're looking at the numbers, but as you know, you're looking at the lawns in the neighborhood, how is the commute to work and all of that stuff. You want to fall in love with the home and be there for years, right? Don't make that mistake and get your heart broken. Find
I
out
see.
what your numbers are.
You see a lot of that.
Yeah. You know, we go, we see it, and they're like, yeah, this works. The rooms are great. We see that, okay, the kids will be here. The school zone is this. Great. Now we crunch the numbers, and you're back to heartbreak. And why? Let's go through the right way.
Right. Are you seeing more buyers doing creative financing, buy downs, arms,
Yes,
creative financing?
So creative financing and a lot of these options where the agents have not dealt with before. They're talking about assumptions of mortgages. You know, you've got veterans, FHA. You can assume these are assumable mortgages if they qualify. So the lenders are now dealing with that. We have to adjust and deal with the timeline that's involved in that. But yeah, the language is definitely changing and evolving. We're bringing this information where people used to think, oh no, you can't do that. I can't get into this. But let's say someone bought a house in 2016, 2017. They've got a 3% interest rate and they've got 200,000 left on the house. Yeah, they want to hold on to that rate, you know, and assume that, especially if it's a FHA. Great, let them take that. So, yes, we're seeing more of that language used.
Is affordability becoming a bigger concern for Florida locals trying to stay in the state? You're finding locals saying, you know what, maybe Florida's not for me.
100%. 100%. And not just that, I think the local Florida community, they came for space, they came for peace and quiet, the trees, the nature and all of that. And with all the building, all the development, we're not there. It's like, this is not the neighborhood.
Why do you think they're building all these homes around here? It's like on Little Road, they're building thousands of homes, and but
Gosh, yeah.
they don't even have buyers in there.
So why?
Why? And the
I mean,
infrastructure can't even handle it.
Yeah, it's two different conversations. It's one, the housing supply has never recovered from where it should be. We need more homes, period.
Okay.
We do. So if no one were to buy a home and the builders were to get ahead of that, they'd probably 6 months be where we should be, you know, if no one bought a home or did anything.
Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market right now? 6 months supply. Isn't that the rule?
Yeah, but also the rates are keeping them, you know, it's like, that's
If you had to pick one side, which one would you say? Or you could say balanced
Honestly?
market. Some people say it's
No. Honestly, I think right now we're on the cusp of the buyer's market, and you should be dipping your toes, doing your numbers, doing your homework, but getting back to that infrastructure. Yeah, there is going to be a problem. So as a buyer, I kind of want to see what's the development of there's a community here, there's a bunch of homes here, but is the infrastructure going to be able to handle it? You know,
I don't think it will be.
No, it's not designed. It's not designed.
I don't know
that way.
why the county keeps approving these things. But
Well, they want the money, they want the homes, they need the homes.
the impact fees too that they're getting on the house. Maybe they have a special deal with them. But I mean, like me
they
building
always
a house.
they always cut the deals, and you know, it unfortunately, it's one of those things where it doesn't get to the point that we're where we should be. You know, it should be. What's the infrastructure? Let's build that out. Then let's build a home. Our resources are lacking right now because police have been asking for more resources because we've got such a huge influx. I think we're at 100,000 a month of new residents to Florida.
Right.
The police, the fire department, ambulance, everyone's going to be stretched. You know, all the critical resources are going to get to a point where, you know, it may lead to suffering. So Infrastructure is all of that. We're not just talking about the waterways and
Yeah,
the
all
flow of
that
water.
stuff.
We're talking about everything. So we do need a breather.
Are we seeing more out-of-state buyers, or is that slowed down quite a bit?
I don't think we're seeing more. I think it's been a consistent rate. We do have tons of people that are investing here, though. I see California, I see Seattle, I see New York, Jersey, Pennsylvania. A lot of people are down here getting an additional property.
Are buyers adjusting their expectations in terms of location, size, and conditions of the homes?
Oh yeah, yeah, they have to. Again, this is budget driven, and unfortunately, you're talking about the new construction and the new buildings and what comes out of it. Here's the thing: if you look at a home built in the '80s, you've got about 15, 17 feet, between them.
Yeah.
Now it's 7.
7 feet, yeah.
It's
This is
7.
called zero lot lines.
Zero lot lines. Some of them, I think, down in Ruskin area, they were like 5 feet.
Yeah, I think
It's literally, right?
Yeah, it's like you can't walk past each other.
Yeah.
All right, so you see that I've been asking a lot of questions,
Yeah.
so you get a lot of information in a short period of time. But now we have to talk about the future outlook. What does the next 12 to 24 months look like? What do you see happening in Florida and housing market over the next year or so?
It's going to be interesting. It's, I think, very exciting. We've got a lot of things happening. Again, interest rates, the push on the property taxes. I think we're going to see a big change. I'd even push that out from 12, 24 to the next 5 years. This place is going to be unrecognizable. I think there's such a big change. We've got businesses moving down here, which that's
Like
going to.
that in New York and places like that.
Oh yeah, we've got.
And I can say that, and we're both New Yorkers. So.
We're both New Yorkers. It's not that we hate New Yorkers or have some angst against them. It's just that this is the trend. We've got New Yorkers. We've got people retiring, and you come down here for the. Listen, my friend right now, he's on vacation. You know where he's vacationing?
Right.
In Florida.
That's funny.
I mean, this is the thing. We're residents here, but we've got, Anna Marie Island. You've got.
We got a lot to do here.
We've got tons of places. You've got Genie Springs. You've got Wicked Watch. You've got tons of tourist spots, and you're still living here.
Do you think home prices will keep rising, level off, or decline?
No, they're going to keep rising. Again, we've got all the sustainable factors in there: supply, demand, affordability. Again, buyers. It's getting to their point where it's their market. They can get in. They're not priced out yet. Now, you did mention your locals. Yeah, your locals are struggling.
Struggling a little bit.
But you know what they're doing? They're moving north.
All right, so there's tons of videos out there about housing market crash, okay?
Right.
In your opinion,
Love those.
is there going to be a crash coming, or is it more like it's long plateau or something?
As soon as we say the word crash and someone searches crash, they're going to be flooded with videos that are going to be all about the market crash and coming. Here's the thing. I think we've got systems in place, but if there is a crash, it's also an opportunity, because wouldn't you like a crash? It depends on which side of the fence you're on,
I do inspections, so I just want people to buy homes,
Yeah, but if there's a crash, there's going to be opportunity.
Are,
There's
are,
always
more, are more
opportunity.
investors getting more cautious, or are they still active in the area?
I think some of the investors are just sticking to their numbers now. For a while, we weren't at the 1% rule, and they're getting back to that easily. So for a lot of them, they were like asking for those 5-year-ago deals, and they just weren't there. Now they are. So I think they're getting warmed up to the water, and they're dipping their toes back in.
All right, let me ask you this one. Is new construction helping to relieve pressure, or is it still behind demand? I know you mentioned it before.
Yeah, new construction is one of the things that's creating relief, but also creating a problem. We talked about infrastructure. They don't build out the way they should and need to for 10, 20 years down the road. But for your buyers, they're giving them the opportunity because they're buying down those rates. I had a 3.5 rate from a new construction build recently. So within the past, I'd say 6 months. So when the normal rate is 7%, we're talking $1,000 difference right there in that monthly payment. So, New housing is great, very, very important, and it's not, plugging Jimmy necessarily, but you need an inspector with
Yeah,
this.
even new
And
construction.
new construction is
I
probably
just
one
did
of
a
the
sewer scope
worst.
on a new construction one,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the line was collapsed. I saw the cement truck go over the line and crush
Man,
the line. What's the biggest concern about Florida housing market right now, in your opinion?
the biggest concern is you, I have that feeling. You know, when you're blowing up a balloon and it's getting so big and you're nervous, you're thinking, is it going to pop? And we're at that feeling. It's blowing, it's growing, but we do need some relief.
Okay, I want some advice to you talking directly to the people watching this video. Okay, if someone's thinking about buying right now, what should they be aware of?
If you're thinking about buying, you have to be careful of your budget. Let your budget guide you. Then you've got to research the home. You've got to research the area and do all the logistics so you're comfortable for the next 6 months to a year easily. Once you're there, then I think you'll be fine. There are definitely things that you need to do to help yourself. Get a good agent, get a good inspector, and do your research, do your homework. There's so much information available on the internet to help you.
What advice do you have for sellers who still want top dollar in today's market?
I say look into alternatives. I've helped lots of sellers that I understand and respect your stance. You want a certain amount, and the market may not be ready to give you that. There are alternatives. You can rent out your property and get financial relief that way. Property management is something that we do in-house, and you can definitely get some income, get some relief, and wait that market out. 6 months, a year, and you'll get the money that you want.
What's one of the biggest mistakes you see buyers make right now?
Not doing their homework. You've got to do your homework and don't skip inspections. That's probably the two biggest mistakes.
What about sellers? What's the biggest mistake the sellers are making right now?
Sellers, I think they're living in that time machine thing. They're expecting a certain amount and they have to have some flexibility. They're catching glimpses of the news cycle and what's on there and using some of that and saying, oh no, I'm not going to pay, a buyer's agent. And the buyer's agent's very important to bring that deal, and they're like, oh no, I'll save 2%, but you're limiting your audience, you're hurting yourself. So, you have to be reasonable with your expectations as far as how much you walk away from.
All right. Are you seeing regional differences between Florida, South Florida versus Tampa versus Orlando versus Panhandle?
Oh yeah, even even Pasco County versus Pinellas versus Hillsborough, all these little areas. There's such big differences, and we can see it in different things. Home pricing, the increase in inventory, the amount the homes are going for, price per square foot, everything we're seeing. It's really a micro economy, and that's what buyers have to be focused on, and sellers are aware of the same thing.
Do you think are climate insurance costs, weather risks starting to affect buyers' decisions of whether to buy in flood zones or not?
100%. You've got people that are traumatized and they don't want to see water.
They don't want to see water.
They absolutely don't want to see water. They don't even want to hear about the insurance because it's not even affordable.
Do you think that Florida is still seen as a safe bet for long-term investments? Why or why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that we can talk about here that you can't talk about our home state is that our laws support landlords. So tenant rights, landlord rights are very important to a business. So if you're an investor, you want to know that you don't have a tenant that's going to tie your property up for 18 months before you get a court date, and that's very common in New York, for example. No one wants to go 18 months paying for a property that isn't income producing. So investors want their returns.
So Wayne, I asked this to all the brokers
Yeah.
at the end. What makes you different from everybody else?
Oh, personality. Personality. It's personality.
Okay.
You've got to find someone that works well with you,
Okay.
that understands where you're coming from, and someone that's looking out for your best interest. 100%. I just closed the deal. You helped me with that deal.
Yeah.
I worked with those clients for 3.5 years. How many agents are working with someone for 3.5 years to get them the perfect home. And it works out where I think it's a perfect time.
How do people reach you if they want to reach you?
If you'd like to reach me, you can reach me at my website, www.neat-realty.com, or just give me a call, 727-428-4103.
And I'll have a link below, and my phone number is below, so if you want to hook up with Wayne, just let me know. He takes care of all of Tampa Bay. But like I said, we have real estate agents everywhere across the whole country and home inspectors. That's today's video. I know it was a lot of questions. I wanted to get a bunch of questions in, to rapid fire questions. I do this about once a month now. So in the meantime, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It does help out the channel. Hit the thumbs, share this video, a lot of information on it, and watch this video right here. I picked it out just for you guys. You'll enjoy it, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you, and have a great day.
Take care.